Let's look at our big idea questions. What can we learn from fossils? Why is it hard to recover fossils? Let's discuss these two questions. Now I want you to write an answer to each of these questions in your student books on page 41. We'll come back to these questions after we finish our exploration about digging in Africa. You will have much more to add to your answers. You may not have enough to answer these questions completely yet, but you will by the end of the unit. You can edit your answers as you gain information. Turn to page 43 in your student books. We will look at some text features that help us comprehend text. Writers of informational text use text features to provide clues to the topic and other important information. What is our title? What are the headings of each section? What are the pictures in the selection? What do the captions say? What is some of the bolded text words? What are some of the bolded text words? What information do you see in the margins? You will use these text features to preview passages and help you identify what you will read about. But first, let's talk about the bold vocabulary words. Turn to page 42. You will again rate your word knowledge. The purpose of this activity is to recognize how familiar you are with this unit's key passage vocabulary. Remember, you're going to circle a 0 if you've never heard the word before, a 1 if you've heard the word but are not sure how to use it, a 2 if you're familiar with the word but are not sure if you know the correct meaning, and a 3 if you know the meaning of the word and can use it correctly in the sentence. I am going to read the list of words, and I want you to repeat each word. As you repeat each word, I want you to rate your knowledge of the word based on that rating scale. Looking at page 42, repeat the word and rate it as you repeat it. Dessert. Not dessert, but desert. Emerge. Pulley. Port. Precise. Create. Fragile. And display. Now you've rated your knowledge of the word. So now we're going to discuss the words themselves. Our first word is desert. A desert is a dry place with few plants. Because there is so little rain, plants don't need much water to grow in the desert. A desert can be hot or cold. In a cold desert, it might snow, but not so much. A desert has fewer than 10 inches of rain or precipitation in a year. Does a desert have a little or a lot of rain? If you travel to the desert, will you pack an umbrella? Yes or no? Now I want you to turn to your partner and tell how you think the word desert will be used in the passage Africa Digs. Let's read the next word together. Emerge. Emerge means to come out of or appear. If I were looking in a hole and a snake emerged, it would certainly scare me. I was at a concert and the band emerged from the fog like magic. The little boy scared his sister when he emerged from the bush where he was hiding. If snow is on the ground and melting, is it emerging? Yes or no? No, it's disappearing. Does a whale emerge from the water to breathe? Yes or no? Now I want you to turn to your partner and tell about a time that something or someone emerged to excite or scare you. Let's read the next word together. Pulley. A pulley is a small wheel over which a rope moves to help lift or move objects. The simple machine that raises a flag on a flagpole is a pulley. We use a pulley system to close the curtains in our living room. The ski lift has a pulley to move the wire rope on which the chairs ride. Could construction workers use a pulley to lift heavy machinery? Yes or no? Do you use a pulley to dig a hole? Yes or no? Now I want you to turn to your partner and tell how you think the word pulley will be used in the passage Africa Digs. Let's read the next word together. Port. A port is a place on the water where people load and unload ships. The cruise ship docked at the port to let people off to explore the city. The ship was docked in the Japanese port to pick up electronics to bring to the United States. The fisherman returned to his home port with a load full of fish. Can we find a port near an ocean, lake, or river? Yes or no? Are cars built in a port? Yes or no? Now I want you to turn to your partner and list things you might see at a port. Let's read the next word together. Precise. Precise means exact or to pay attention to details. If you are measuring a board to cut to fit exactly, it is important that your measurement be precise. To get your math problems correct, your calculations must be precise. If you call 911 with an emergency, make sure the address is precise. Is it important to have precise directions to get to a new place? Yes or no? Do you need to be precise when texting a friend? Yes or no? Now I want you to turn to a partner and tell about something it is important to do precisely. Let's read the next word together. Create. Create means to make. The musician created a new song that is sure to be a hit. My mom creates delicious meals in her kitchen. The artist created a sculpture of a dog out of a tree stump. Did people create the Rocky Mountains? Yes or no? Can you create a report? Yes or no? Now I want you to turn to your partner and tell something that you have created. Let's read the next word together. Fragile. Fragile means easily broken or delicate. My brother made a tower with toothpicks. It was fragile and crashed to the floor when the wind blew. I broke the fragile glass when I knocked it over on the counter. As people get older, they have to be careful not to break a bone because bones weaken and become fragile. Is a delicate flower fragile? Yes or no? Is a dump truck fragile? Yes or no? Now I want you to turn to your partner and name 2 things that are fragile and 2 things that are not fragile. Let's read the last word together. Display. Display means to show or to put something in a place where others can see it. We display our flag to show our respect for our country. At the restaurant, waiters display the desserts on a tray. The art teacher displayed students' work on the wall. Are things inside of a drawer being displayed? Yes or no? Do people display their dirty clothes or their family pictures? Now I want you to turn to your partner and tell 2 things that a store would display. Turn to pages 43 through 46 in your student books. In addition to the vocabulary words, here are a few words you might need to know before reading the passage. Success is when something you have wanted works out. Fossils are the remains of a plant or animal that is hardened in rock. Lab, short for laboratory, is a room or building for science experiments or research. A tripod is a stand with 3 legs used to hold something. A model is a copy of something or the way something works. A blueprint is a plan or how something will work. A mold is a container that makes something into a shape, not like mold that grows when it's moist outside, but mold as in a container. A frame is the part around the edges of a picture, or a structure that gives something strength or shape. Discovery means to find something or to become aware of something. And ancient means very, very old. Let's preview the passage before we read. Our title is Africa Digs. Scan the title, pictures, and headings. What do you predict you will learn about in this passage? In this text, each heading has something in common. What is it? The steps in the headings give you a clue that you will read about a sequence of events. Let's go for a picture walk. Listen as I read the captions for the pictures. I will also tell you what I'm thinking as I look at the first picture. The first page has a picture of a Tuareg tribe member. The caption says the Tuareg tribe helped the team. I see that her body is almost totally covered with clothing, probably to protect her from the desert sun. Let's look at the next picture on page 44. The caption says Dr. Paul Sereno and his team at the African dig site. Tell your partner what you are thinking when you look at this picture. Now turn to page 45 in your student books. Listen to the caption. Dr. Paul Sereno examines the dinosaur bones. Tell your partner what you are thinking when you look at this picture. Where do you think this picture was taken? At the dig site, the campsite, or somewhere else? Turn to page 46 in your student books. I notice a text box with the heading, Did you know? I also see a graphic of a dinosaur with sharp teeth. Listen as I read that text aloud. The ancient Greeks did not know about dinosaurs, but they had a word, deinos, that meant terrible or monstrous, and a word, saur, that meant lizard. In the 1800s, when scientists began to study fossilized bones of these beasts, they used the Greek words to name them and gave us the word dinosaur. Why is terrible lizard a good name for these animals? Work with your partner to answer this question. Why is terrible lizard a good name for these animals? Now turn back to page 41 in your student books. Sometimes maps help us to understand text. However, the author of Africa Digs did not include maps. The author assumed the reader knows where Niger, Africa is in comparison with the United States. Africa is a continent. Niger is a country in Africa. The Atlantic Ocean separates North America from Africa. I want you to place an X to mark where the Tuareg people live. I want you to mark a C where Chicago is. Then I want you to label the Atlantic Ocean. We will revisit the map when we read the text. Look at the questions at the bottom of page 41. I want you to follow along as I read the prompts aloud. Reading for a purpose. Who led the dig in Niger, Africa? Why did Dr. Sereno need help from the Tuareg tribe? How did the dig team protect the fossils? How did the dig team load the bones onto trucks? How did the scientists clean the bones? Why did Dr. Sereno's team make the bones? What did the team create to help them build the skeleton? How did they make the casts look like real fossils? You will learn the answers to these questions in the passage. The questions will help provide a focus for reading as you identify the important facts and concepts found within the text. Now it's time to read. Follow along with your eyes and your pencil eraser. Watch the words and use your pencil eraser while the text is read to you. Why? Your brain likes to detect patterns in words. While the text is being read to you, your brain is hard at work detecting patterns and making meaning while your eyes are on the text and your eraser tracks the words. Let's review. Where are your eyes while the text is read? Where is your pencil? Eyes on text, pencil on words. Let's begin. While reading, you should also think about our two big idea questions. What can we learn from fossils? And why is it hard to recover fossils? Turn to page 43.